Solar panels on the roof, split load relay. Oh, I'm so tired. Low rubbish. Right, shut down site, shut down site. Literally just almost died.
Oh, this is disgusting.
Oh, goopy. It could just be me. All right, mate. I've always been of the opinion that every single work van that's out there needs to have Venetian plaster on it. I am so glad I moved. What if I told you that I was able to power my house from excess energy created by my van, and that every evening I'm able to power my house for completely free, even sometimes using my van as a physical battery for the house? Let me show you what I've done. So we're currently sitting inside the Campervan, right? The new Magic Wagon. And I've been teasing about this van for quite a while, but I've been delaying putting out a Van Electrics video. And that's because when I went on the internet, there was about 1 million other Van Electrics videos, and some of them were really, really good. And this is all electrical. So if I'm gonna put a video out there, it needs to be a little bit quirky and a little bit different to all the others. So I thought, well, hang on a minute. I've got roof space that's in the sun all the time. I've got a whacking great big alternator. Which begs the question, could I generate enough power when I'm driving around from the roof solar panel and from the alternator? Yeah, of course, I'm aware of thermodynamics using slightly more fuel, but still relative to fuel costs versus electricity costs, could I generate enough power to charge up batteries that when I get home, I can not only just have a normal camper van set up, but I could also plug that power into my house and power up my home from my camper van, basically free electricity. So here we have it, the long-awaited electrical take on Van Electrics, but with a very slight lemon twist. Enjoy. So do you ever wonder where all the smart kids at school went? You know, the ones that actually paid attention and behaved well? Well, they're here. Here are your overachievers. They're hanging out in a unit and Paul helping me with my van. And if you ever wondered where the kids were that were kind of slightly moronic and just sat at the back of class not listening, well, they're here without a diagnosis still. So we're here with the Lemon Energy guys, and we're connecting up 2 of these 4 kilowatt-hour battery packs. And it's all going to be connected up via Victron, because that is really the industry standard when it comes to off-grid. It's going to be going just here in the van, as you will have already seen. And it's going to be powered up by a solar panel up there on the roof. It's going to be powered up by our alternator and also via an AC feed or shore power feed. So the first job that we've got to do is to mark this board out, spray it black, cut it all out, and then mount everything and put it all in one nice little neat unit. So yeah, let's crack on with that. Jonathan, what are we doing?
We are creating a digital template for that board that you saw. So I've just created a block in here, the size of the piece of ply that we've laid it all out on out there, and we've just sketched up on here roughly where we want everything with some measurements, and I'm just digitizing that.
So those are the cutouts where the cables are.
Those will be all the little cutouts once I've extruded it through, and it'll look like a digital version of what we're going to do, and then it'll go around the corner onto Rodney the robot, and he'll cut it out for us.
Awesome. What software is that?
This is Fusion 360, and this is Robot DK, which is our robot software that actually translates it and sends it to the robot.
Super cool.
Finish marking it out. So now we're just going to select all of these, then we will just extrude them through, and hey presto, we have a 3D
boom,
like that.
No way can it chamfer the edges.
Yep.
What, like a router?
Yeah, but we just swap the tool in the robot. We got automatic tool changing in the robot. What do we reckon, like 4mm? So it's going to be a bit much. Nah, that looks about right, doesn't it?
Oh, that's so cool.
5mm?
Yeah,
5mm.
Yeah, 5mm. Make it known.
There you go.
And that's the robot over there.
And that's the robot. Yeah.
Right, well, let's send it to be cut. Okay, so while Johnny is over there finishing off the last little CAD bits, I want to start prepping because I would like a solar panel to be up on that roof. Now, yes, that is a roof tent. Now, you might be asking, why is that on top of a camper? On top of a hospitality vehicle? Well, you're gonna have to wait and see because there is a whole video series coming out about this, but
it's nowhere near ready.
So, in the meantime, let's get the solar panel up on it. We're going to be using the Doncaster cables, PV Ultra cables. So, in case you're not familiar with it, basically it's solar cable inside of another jacket. So it's actually designed for solar. So I figured actually this is going to be the best thing to use here because I'm a little bit nervous about running singles around because if they short out and touch together, big fire. And I have to say I'm a massive fan of when I'm going camping not having the whole van on fire. I know that it could just be me. Now, in terms of cable routing, so I need the cables to go from the roof through the van, round and down. So there was a little grommet just here. If you can see that, it's a little 20mm hole, which I guess would have been for like an aerial or something, but it wasn't used, so it perfectly fits 20mm stuffing gland. I'm actually going to widen that hole out, and I'm going to put a 25mm stuffing gland in just so I can get the full jacket of that cable. It's then going to go, sorry if you're getting travel sick here, fellas and ladies and gentlemen, we're going down through socks and sandals, sorry for that, I know that's a sin, to the other side of this wall, which is completely not finished yet. And that is going to be going through to here where all the inverter and everything is. There is going to be a kitchen along there, tile, Venetian plaster. I've always been of the opinion that every single work van that's out there needs to have Venetian plaster on it, along with leatherette chairs. If it's not that, then you're probably in a scaffolding welfare wagon. You're obviously not an electrician's welfare wagon, so yeah. Let's get into it. All right, John, Adam, I have to say I'm not a fan of how this ladder is rocking. My socks and sandals don't feel secure from up here. I'm not getting paid, I'm not at work right now, so does HSE apply when I'm at home, just having fun?
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. There we go. Thank you very much. 25, please. I have already got the die out for you.
You've got the wrong end on it.
All right. There's no need to be like that about it. The good thing as well, guys, is that this hole that's here is actually going to be behind the screen as well, the actual rubber gasket of the roof tent. Even though it's going to be a stuffing gland, it's going to be especially waterproof. This is my hole punch tool. Oh, it's going to be very difficult to get through. So he is going to screw
your tip on.
There you go. He's screwed that on. Try not to lose my camera. Yeah. There you go. Epic piece of kit that. Hole drilled, completely smooth. Schwarf is stored inside of this. Can't wait to see how much love I get for this sandal option. So it's usually righty-tighty. Now the solder cable should just pop straight through that. There we are. Oh yes. That should be enough then to go up and service the roof. Let's go robot it up. All right, so this robot now is basically following that CAD drawing that Johnny's made for it. You don't have to have this to make a camper van, obviously, but it just makes it a little bit nicer, a little bit extra. I feel like it's a bit embarrassing, really, if as an electrician, I turn up to a job with that van and I've got a shoddy electrical install inside of it. It doesn't speak volumes for my work, does it? All right, so that is done. Look at the quality of that. That is crazy. Now, how is there a method you have to clean up the dust? Obviously, we took the dust extractor off so that we could film it. This device looks like it could work, maybe if I just...
Do you know what one of those?
Nah, that's
it.
rubbish.
Welcome to my office. Well, as far as my customers are concerned, I'm in my office because
I've got my whole business online. Everything from my website, inquiries, quotes and invoices are all managed on one platform, and that platform is Tradeify. So Tradeify very kindly sponsored this video. Now, if you'd like to get your business online, try out my link below for Tradeify, where you can get 14 days, no credit card details needed, completely free trial, and then 30% off after that. Thank you so much for Tradeify for sponsoring and supporting these videos.
because your office can be anywhere that you have an internet connection.
All right, so now it's time to paint it. So I'd quite like to paint it black. Some lovely black paint. Ah, goopy, lovely. Now you might be wondering, what has this got to do with Van Electrics? Nothing. It's got nothing to do with it. In fact, if you go on YouTube and just type in Van Electrics, you'll probably find some really good videos. But if you want to see us paint a board black, Instagram. And it's a new day. We basically had to wait for the paint to dry on this, but it's all dried now. So we have just quickly gone through and mounted all of the gear onto this. So now that the gear is on and the paint is drying, let me talk you through what we have. Right, so let's start with the most important component of this whole thing. I mean, really, it's all important. Even if its job doesn't seem important, it's important because it's part of the biggest scheme of things. It's part of the bigger system. Like you, right? You might not think that you're important, but you're part of it. You're a small cog in a bigger machine, and we're all necessary, myself included, even this guy. Let's start then with the inverter. So this inverter is the electrician of the world, also known as the center of the universe in this electrical system. So the inverter takes that direct current energy, inverts it, and makes it alternating current, which is useful for us to use for most of our AC appliances, because that's what you're using. This is a 3K inverter, and that means that I can never take more than 3,000 watts at 230 volts off of this inverter. This right here is my solar charge controller, also known as an MPPT, or a max power point tracker. You see these two numbers here. You've got the max input voltage, 100, and the max output current, 30 amps. And that's the same for all of these. All these little numbers on here, it's the input voltage, in this case input output voltage, and then the maximum current. If you want electricity to move around in these systems, it needs to be a few volts higher than the place where it's going to, so slightly more force to push to where it needs to go. In this instance, what it will do is it will take the 12 volts from my main battery, which we've installed this little fuse here, which we did the other day. This fuse will then run through the van to the back corner. Look at these seat covers. Link for them in the description below. Step up the voltage just high enough to enable that to charge the battery from the alternator on the van. Oh man, you keep just like appearing and disappearing. The Turbo GX basically is the thing that makes this inverter smart, so that I can pick up all of that data online. And now this is just a standard DC fuse box like what you'd have in any sort of auto electrical scenario with these blade fuses in. Do you know this real fancy complicated piece of equipment is? This is just a distributor. It's the Lynx distributor. It's basically just a very nice, very well designed bus bar. So that is it. Not that complicated, is it? What's cool is if you buy them, the batteries from Lemon, they actually do the offer where you can basically have this whole board delivered to you, so you don't have to actually worry about how to do this or how it comes or how it's delivered. So if you're interested in getting a board like that built for you, then we'll link that in the description below. Should we get the solar panel on?
Might as well.
Because that's going to need some time to dry. I don't really want to have any more convictions against me.
Just to drive home slowly.
I've got to drive home very
Rather
slowly.
than Corey speed. Well, you're not a BMW driver anymore, are you? So.
I wonder why. Right, let's get the solar panel on the roof. I'm so sorry for people that have actually come here for an educational video on how to install van electrics.
Is it how we do it channel, not how it's done channel?
No, this is how I did it channel. I probably wouldn't copy. Feel free to if you want, at your own risk.
Someone left a wind turbine on the floor.
Oh, sorry. Move this little teaser out the way. Subtle. Not many people know this, but if you attach wind turbines to the roof of your van, the wind from driving will actually power up your van enough to push it forwards more. Thermodynamics, biggest conspiracy theory going, made up by the same people that say that the Earth is round.
Yeah.
Load of rubbish. Big Oil doesn't want you to have wind turbines on your car. That's why.
Or solar panels to power your vehicle.
Or solar panels. In fact, if I disappear, right, I'm sound of mind and I'm stable. And this solar panel, you saw it here first. Let me show you what I'm doing. I am going to self-tapper these mounts onto the corner first. So rather than try and spend ages measuring them and working them out, we're literally just going to put them on there, put some metal self-tapping bolts through here and here to fix into the panel, and then this side once it gets glued on once that's all done. How many pigeons do you think it would take to beat you in a fight to the death?
Oh yeah.
They're out for blood. They're scratching, they're clawing.
They're pretty ferocious.
I've never
I
met
think
a ferocious pigeon.
seagulls think it'll be one.
No. I could take 14.
14?
Seagulls.
14 seagulls.
I've got 4 limbs. All of them could be occupied at once. Kick them, they're only small. Oh man, I only cleaned this the other day. It's literally destroyed. I scrubbed this the other day. Now there's a full-on trail mix up here. Trail mix with some Greek yogurt.
It's like paint at the moment. I don't know what the seagulls are eating, but it looks like paint. Look at the cars outside.
Terrible.
It looks like paint.
Well, this is the thing, it's not actually paint, it's oil. Not many people want you to know this, but they're not real seagulls. They're drones.
That's why we had lockdown, so you could replace the batteries in all the pigeons
they're
and
to
the
charge.
seagulls.
You know when the birds are sitting on the power lines?
Yes, to recharge
They're
them up.
recharging. Oh, this is disgusting. You got these big lumps and bumps and ugh.
2,000 years later.
Oh man, if I see that seagull that's done this, it's gonna be hell to pay. How'd they like it if I just went and took a massive poo in their house? Wait for him just to finish tidying up his nest, get it all nice and neat, and just go take a massive dump on it. Slight issue, because there's a curve to the roof. It's not sitting flat on the roof. We're trying to glue this down onto this surface here, but you see that gap there at the back is curving slightly like that, so the big flat solar panel isn't fitting. Come back to you when I have a solution. Right, I've got an idea. It's sort of penduluming, like the band, on this, that middle support. So I think if we remove those 2 middle ones, see where it sits, wherever it sits is where we then move that middle support to and glue it down there. I haven't sanded it down yet, but I thought if we worked together I could lift it and then you could sand it. You seem like someone who'd be a bit of an expert on drag. Not that kind of drag. Where the wind is going to come over, is it better to have the panel a bit more towards the back or a bit more towards the front?
Probably towards the back.
Towards the back. Okay,
Yeah.
so where it is fine. All right, cool. Speaking of drag, What are you doing this weekend? No. Speaking of drag, what?
It's every other weekend.
Wait, don't we have to do this side as well first?
Indeed. Yes.
We're just sanding it so that we key the surface slightly better, just so that the glue has something a little bit more solid to stick to. So I'll show you this process nice and close. So we've got the automatic gun here, which is absolutely awesome. I'm just putting tons of gunk on there just to make sure it is really on there solid. Okay, I reckon that will do the job now. This is hard to do with a camera in one hand.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it square your side?
Yeah, I'm pretty even both sides. This one could do with some more glue in that edge, but...
Well, we've also got to run the cable under there. Suppose if I can get the MC4s off and poke them down to the bottom of the panel. All right, let's do that now. All right, the time has come. So let's pop the roof tent up. If you want to see this getting installed, this whole project is going to be a separate video coming very, very soon. So you've got to go hit that subscribe button and it'll be coming. Has it fallen off? Right, here's my cable. Let's get that installed, shall we? If my wife is watching this, I'm really sorry. I know I said I'd be home for dinner, but the torch is coming out. This thing's taken ages. I've not actually put the camera up, I've just shrunk a little bit. If you're interested in this light, this is the Unilight MTB 10,000. It runs on power tool batteries, and let me tell you something. It's insane. You've got multiple different brightness settings, and so you can literally blind your neighbours. I put this on the other day, people thought the rapture was coming, people started running the other way. You can also adjust the colour temperature, which is perfect if, like me, you're using it for sort of videography purposes. You can set your white balance right. I love it. Right, slip that there. Let's get the non-broken ladder, shall we? I'm gonna break my neck.
Was that the solar panel?
It wasn't set. I am so glad I moved. Right, shut down site, shut down site. We need to reassess our safety values. Literally just almost died. You could be going about your daily life. Everything's fine. I'm thinking about what's for dinner. I'm thinking how much I fancy a lemonade when I get home. And then I almost just died. Life is sacred, boyos. Now obviously that didn't quite go to plan, because now I've got a ton of smeared up, half dry, gunky silicone all over my roof and tons of Sikaflex all over my roof. And that's not what I wanted. That's not what anyone wants. But the lesson learned there is, which, yeah, of course I could cut this out of this video, but then we wouldn't learn the lessons together. The lesson learned is, leave your silicone to dry for more than 5 minutes. Ideally, give it like a day. So what I'm gonna do is, order some new panel mounts. The panel actually is all right. I'm gonna clean up my roof, and I'm gonna have to glue it on when I get the panel mounts and new Sikaflex arrive. What a pain. All right, so that now is finished, ready to connect the batteries into and ready to wire into the van. So we'll do that now and I'll show you how we do it. But if you were gonna order one of these board builds from Lemon, that is how it arrives. So you don't actually have to do any of the faffing that we've done. But let's do the real test. How does the wiring look behind? Beautiful. If you're like me, you care about this. So we've got extra conduits here because I want it to be future-proof so that when I'm running circuits I don't have to lift the whole thing off to pop it through again. So we've got a bit of future-proofing there with some empty ducts and some empty conduits. All the cables are all nice and neat. I like it when even the stuff you can't see looks nice. I think that's a very good sign. So the only thing left to do now is to get it in the van. Newly qualified
I've
cameraman.
got to like hold it up here to be at the right level there. This is more of the up the nose shooting because of my height compared to yours.
The superhero. They call this the superhero shot. You're getting well into it now. I saw that little flick, boop, as you picked it up. Right. That's actually significantly less heavy than what I was expecting. Well, for me. Yep.
Kick it back. That's it.
I'm so tired. The system's up and running. Minus the solar panel, that is definitely not up and running. Here are the batteries. We have 2 times 4 kilowatt hour batteries here. This right here is kind of the HMI, or the human machine interface, basically the touchscreen that is going to allow you to interact between this system and you. When you go onto this page, you'll be able to more efficiently track where everything is actually coming from. So you'd actually be able to see on here all of your tank levels and things, and then you can make intelligent decisions based off of that. Sadly, that time is correct. Right, now I want to show you this system up and running, but I don't want to show you it up and running before we have the solar panel on the roof. Fortunately, that should be very easy because we have a camera. All I have to do is this. There you go, the solar panel's on. I managed to do it first time as well. It wasn't even hard. Someone commented on my video the other day saying, I like your content, but I get motion sick watching it. So I was thinking, should I get a camera person more often, you know, to make it a bit more stable, or should I get better IBIS, inbuilt stabilization? I thought, no, mate, take a Dramamine, sit down and man up, all right? This is POV camera work. This is the best we're gonna do. God, that's amazing that there's bird poo on it already, considering I only fitted it 30 seconds ago on my first attempt. Here you have it. The solar panel is on. It is solid now. It has been thoroughly tested. It is glued and screwed, and inside it is hooked up to this MPPT solar charge controller. So we have the Doncaster cables coming in here. So this is our solar PV coming straight off the roof, and then this goes back out then into the Links distributor here. So to talk you through the system, obviously this is temporary. This is all going to be built. This is going to be a kitchen worktop. We're going to have, a welfare utility worktop here with a little bench coming out, fridge, freezer, etc. All the tools in the back. This screen here will be integrated into that worktop so that we can track all of our power in and out. So you can see here we've got the charge controller here. It's ramped down slightly because these batteries are already full. It's slightly later on in the day and they're already fully charged. And the amazing thing is I haven't even switched on the van yet. So we have 2 times 4 kilowatt hour packs. We have our Orion, which is connected up straight onto our alternator, and we have the solar charge controller and all of our ordinary circuitry, which will be going out to the various 12 volt electrical circuits here. And then they are connected up with Copex because obviously I love Copex, and that makes it future proof. So you'll be able to buy that as a board from Lemon Energy. Now what makes this slightly different is that I'm not going to be using this as a camper van all the time, but it is going to be sitting here parked up in the sun all the time. So it's extra roof space that I can use to power my house. Also when I'm driving around, I can have the alternator running slightly higher to fill up these batteries so that when I come home, I've got free battery storage. Now in terms of connecting this up to the house, I'm not going to go in depth on that today because it is very simple. Effectively, it's a commando socket and another rail of off-grid breakers. Now, I don't want to go in depth with that today because really, fine you doing that side, but if you want to do this side of it, you need to hire a qualified electrician because it's a minefield in terms of earthing arrangements, open devices and things, especially if you're connecting up 2 different earthing potentials. So I'm not saying this is a one-stop shop solution for everybody, but if you want the Campervan Electrics doing, then obviously you can go ahead and do that. That's easy, right? You've seen now how it's done. But if you also are considering having a battery and you haven't got space for it, or you want another alternative, slightly out-the-box solution for power generation, then maybe this is something you can think about because it does work out cheaper with the extra diesel used and with buying the solar panel than what the grid are charging you for electricity. So you can actually save money and it's really cool. Now, obviously I'm also going to be having battery storage and some other things here, but to be honest with you, this is a little preview for this house because we've got some absolutely wacky technology that is going to be installed here. Everything from DIY solar thermal to ground source heat pumps to every single piece of technology that I can possibly get my hand on to have a little try with. But for now, thanks so much for watching. See you next time.